In the early decades of the 17th century, Black African communities in rural lands lived under the constant shadow of colonial authority. Villages that had once thrived on family, community, and tradition were now dominated by white English overseers who controlled the labor, movement, and very lives of the people. Men and women toiled in the fields from dawn to dusk, planting and harvesting crops, repairing carts, and maintaining the basic necessities of survival, all under the watchful eyes of colonial officers who demanded obedience and punished resistance. Children, too, were caught in the grip of oppression. Some were sent to assist in labor, carrying water, gathering firewood, or tending small animals, while others were forced to stand by and watch the brutality inflicted upon their parents. Even in play, innocence was fragile. Fields that once rang with laughter were now punctuated by the stern commands of overseers, their voices echoing across the land. Yet, despite fear and hardship, families tried to shield their children, whispering lessons of endurance and hope beneath the canopy of baobab trees. Daily life was a delicate balance between survival and resilience. Black African men labored with bent backs, lifting heavy loads, repairing tools, and working the soil, while women carried out domestic duties, cooked, and tended gardens that were barely enough to feed their families. All the while, English colonizers patrolled the villages and fields, imposing fines, beatings, and harsh restrictions to ensure compliance. Resistance was dangerous, yet subtle acts of defiance, sharing food, teaching children forbidden stories, or helping a neighbor escape punishment, kept the spirit alive. The elders observed everything. Their eyes witnessed exhaustion, pain, and occasional cruelty. Some hid behind huts or trees to avoid the gaze of the overseers, learning early that survival required caution and quiet strength. Others tried to play quietly among the flowers or crops, holding on to brief moments of joy even as danger loomed nearby. The elders encouraged them to remember the stories of their ancestors, to learn that resilience was not just about enduring work, but about preserving culture, identity, and dignity under oppression. Markets and communal areas were tense. Villagers traded goods and shared meals, but every movement was monitored. White English authorities inspected produce, questioned families, and made arbitrary demands. Even in these small acts, the power imbalance was palpable. Yet within this hardship, the Black African communities maintained cultural rituals, songs, and stories. Children listened closely, absorbing lessons of history and courage passed down by elders who had endured years of hardship themselves. As months turned into years, the labor intensified. Children grew faster, learning skills they were never meant to master at their age, carrying heavier loads, working the soil, and assisting adults in repairing carts and homes. Physical exhaustion was paired with emotional strain. Fear became a constant companion. Yet, even as the overseers enforced their authority, villagers found moments of quiet rebellion, exchanging food, sharing whispered stories, or secretly teaching the children the history of their land. Despite the oppression, Black African communities continued to hold on to hope. Parents reminded their children that their strength was in unity, that their culture could survive even under the harshest conditions. Songs were sung in secret. Elders recited tales of heroes past, and families clung to one another at night, whispering promises that one day freedom and justice might come. Evenings were bittersweet. The sun set over dusty fields, casting long shadows across villages that had endured another day of labor. Children sat with their parents, exhausted but attentive, listening as stories of courage and resilience were shared. These stories became a lifeline, ensuring knowledge, identity, and hope survived even when the day had been harsh and cruel. By the end of each long day, though many were bruised in body and spirit, the villagers showed quiet endurance. Their children, though witnessing hardship, were taught that survival was intertwined with courage, compassion, and the ability to endure while preserving one's dignity. Every day became a testament to the unyielding spirit of Black African families living under colonial oppression. In reflection, life for Black Africans in the early 17th century was defined by a struggle for survival under constant oversight, yet also by moments of joy, culture, and hope that refused to be extinguished. Children played, learned, and grew amidst oppression, their spirits quietly resilient, carrying forward the strength of generations past and the promise of a future where freedom might one day prevail.